Come on, Fulham Football Club.
Yes. Yes.
How good do you feel?
I feel so good right now. I feel so good. My voice is gone. Like it's just knackered. I just celebrated so hard.
Say is that we've gone through a lot of heartbreak in the last. It feels like we've gone through about 10 years of heartbreak in the last week.
Yeah.
And after Arsenal, I felt like, we're going to tail off a little bit. But the discipline, the measure, the talent, the ability, the way we took our goals. I can't believe we just done Liverpool 3-2. And they're going to win the league at a distance. And we're probably the only team that have done that to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love Fulham Football Club with my whole heart. And that was just a
hear
really
it,
special
man.
performance.
I feel like you're going to cry.
How was it from your side?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't watch a lot of the last maybe 25 minutes. I think it really hurt. It was, I can't do squeaky bum time. I really struggle with that. And but we handled it well, man. We bossed it. It was. How was it from my side? It was emotional. Even like the Fulham fan in me, and I don't know if you had this. Even at 3-1 up at half time, you go, I can't handle a second.
No,
half.
I hate that we're going to get beat 4-3.
Yeah,
we didn't get beat. That's what I was thinking. I hate that somehow we're getting beat 4-3.
Yeah.
What I will quickly say is,
go on.
Antonee Robinson on Salah. I mean, is Salah the most informed footballer in world football? One of them, definitely.
He's and
top
we've been 5 without a doubt.
We're talking about Robinson being the best left back in the league. I thought Salah was the quietest player on the pitch today. I think Antonee is just in the form of his life, and that's timely because he's our next guest on Fulham Fix. And not only does he do a job on Salah on the pitch, he does a job on Ivan at chess.
I'd forgotten that. So I was so happy about winning against Liverpool that I forget that this is one of the most embarrassing episodes I'm involved in. I get absolutely torn apart. Let's go for it.
Come on, Fulham. Love you. Antonee Robinson, welcome to Fulham Fix.
Thanks for having me, mate.
How you doing?
Yeah, doing all right.
Right, so you just finished training, and we've been trying to get you on the show for quite a long time. Lots of Fulham fans have been asking for you all the time. What we want to try and avoid doing is the main things people ask you, it seems like, are... You can play piano. Why are you called Jedi? And what's the third one? And the Rubik's Cube.
And the yeah.
So we were like, what can we ask Antonee that isn't stuff people already know? We happen to be saying that in the canteen. And is it Tim? I don't know who is it.
Tim Maynard.
He
mentioned it to me because he said he was like, I might throw you under the bus here a little bit.
He has done because he very much has done because he was overhearing a conversation and he was like, he plays chess all the time and he's the best in the squad.
Unbeaten is what he said.
So what we thought was, James, fair play to James, because James has heard it and he's run to Tesco's.
North Cheam. Yeah.
In North Cheam.
only one in stock, so he had to go to Cheam for it.
We were running around like, Kenny Tete can't find a chessboard. Like, we could looking for one. Anyway, James has gone to North Cheam. He's got himself a chessboard. We thought maybe you could show us your skills while the conversation's happening.
We're going to do 2v1. Just to see
you versus us two.
All right,
that's fun.
This is going to be a new angle. Is it true that you play the squad? That you play the other?
There's a little bit of a chess school growing in the team, yeah.
And are you actually unbeaten?
No, not unbeaten. Because I remember ages ago when I was playing, Reedy beat me. When I was like trying to help him get through it. But if we sat down now, I think any of us who play and had a game, I'm pretty sure I'd beat anyone.
Okay.
In my head,
who is it? I think Sasham is the only one I'm wary of.
I can imagine.
So he's not admitted to playing chess yet, but Eastern Europeans all.
I know.
They learn it before they speak.
Totally.
We were on. He started talking.
Intro was sick at chess.
Was he?
Was he really?
Yeah.
Did you play him quite a bit?
No. I only really got into it when he left. So.
All right.
Do you know, that's quite interesting because, in my head, the vision I've got is that like all the Fulham players, the whole squad's got a chessboard, and you're going round. Like they're doing like a New York Park type thing, going checkmate.
Yeah, that's our image of you.
That's a great image. It's not the image. It's not that. We all play on our phone. So.
Who started? How does it start? Is it
White go first?
White goes first.
Come on, Fulham.
Here we go.
So I'll go. Yeah.
Come on, Fulham.
All right.
If you're listening on, if you're listening on this on podcast, not visual, then am I going to have to say, Antonee Robinson's gone?
Yeah, you start
to
the board, but with the letters and numbers on.
I was going to say, D4.
I'll go this one, though. I got nothing. The trick, isn't it, to mirror the other person?
You can do that to a certain extent, and then you just lose the game.
All right.
Okay, for the benefit of Tate, Antonee Robinson's gone E5 to F5. Quickly, just while you're doing this, I'll ask questions while Ivan plays. It's interesting to me because I've done the music for the John McEnroe film, The Tennis Player, and he was saying how he used to see a tennis court like squares, and he could like do probability really quickly in his head, and he could almost see it like a board of squares. Do you see? Do you know what I mean? Is there any equivalent of you being really good at chess and really good at football?
I've genuinely said this that I think playing chess. I do think it helps you play with football because it's not that quick and exact, but I do see when I'm making decisions on a football pitch a bit like chess, as in like you have so many options. You have so many options on a board to play.
Yeah.
You'll only have so many options in a match to play.
Yeah.
And in chess and in football, all you're trying to do is pick the best move that you can do.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So it's like really quickly, say you have 3 passes on, you're like, which one's the best, which is the safest.
Mm-hmm. That is genuinely fascinating. So are you sort of seeing almost like chess, like you make a move and you'll see 3 moves ahead? Is that almost the same in football? You
a little bit. It's kind of like like you said about being 3 moves ahead. It's like passing to a man who's got a man on him. Like it just leads to nothing. So you don't want to make a move in chess that leads nowhere.
Right.
So it's the same. It is the same thing.
Tim was also saying, which is really unusual for a footballer, that you were straight A student. When did you get A's in maths at A level?
I flummoxed him now. Look at
that.
No,
you flummoxed me because someone set the board up wrong. So we're gonna. Wait! We don't have to.
Boiled.
I can't believe. Just the fact you've just put me in check there just made me realise my king's on the wrong side.
I'll put him in check. But is my king
no. If we go back
okay.
and if you just swap these two,
he could just be saying this,
and we swap these two.
Yeah, but now you're no longer in check.
No, but it's still your move.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Quickly, while Anthony plays, as he reaches to make his move, you'll notice that the chair might be squeaking. That isn't intentional, but it will help just for the general drama of the situation. And we promise to everyone asking that we're going to get that fixed, all right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's not just because Roy Hodgson squeaked a lot and we feel like it needs to be on every guest. Did you hear the question I asked before about... you were a straight A student? Were you like mathematically gifted academically?
Why did I do that?
That's a great question. Maths was my favourite subject.
Was it?
Wasn't straight A. I remember what I got. I got 2 A stars, which were both. It was maths and further maths. This is in GCSE. 4 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's. And then did A levels when I was doing my scholarship at Everton, which I did maths, economics, and statistics.
Right.
And I think I got the second year I kind of sacked it off because I was injured and I'd found out I got my pro. So towards the end, admittedly, I was just like, I can't really be bothered trying now. But I think my overall, I got a B in maths, a C in economics, and then a B in AS statistics, which. It was all right. Is
it unusual to be good at maths and be a footballer, or is that just like some sort of stereotype that you might hold? Do you know what I mean? Because I've never thought of footballers as like, oh, they'll be really good.
There's a handful of players who pick math as a strong suit, I'd say.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just kind of a myth that footballers aren't clever anyway, because. Like most football players I know are probably like just as clever as the average person anyway. There's obviously a couple who are helmets and don't have a clue. But you get that with anything.
You want to name and shame at all?
Yes, that's true. Any sort of line.
I'm trying to think if we've got any in our team. Can't think.
Would you say it's intelligent squad? Yeah, generally.
Not an intelligent squad, but I wouldn't say there's no buffoons.
Yeah.
I'm being absolutely ruined.
Is it your turn, Davin?
This is very stressful.
The other thing we didn't mention is that the interview's over as soon as the game's done. So if you want this to be finished quicker,
I was going to say it's check.
Oh, actually, take it back.
It's going to be done pretty soon.
As Ivan tries to squeeze out of this, let me ask you a few more questions. Take your time because we've got to get a few more questions in here, man.
Well, he's thrown me since he cheated and switched the king and queen back over. My whole plan was built around...
Any viewers, if you can verify that the king does not go on this square... I think the board's set up wrong because the black should be there. I don't know, but
for God's sake.
Either way,
we did that.
No, it's fine for the game, but yeah.
All right.
You're going to start absolutely tearing me apart around here.
No, I'm just going to...
Oh, get out of it. Take your time because I've got to ask him a few more questions.
I'm going to get rid of him because he's, absolutely... At least I got a piece.
Anthony, talk to me about the modern left back role. We have not seen. I don't think. Obviously, it's the most evolved position in modern football where you play, because it strikes us. Obviously, you won't need to be told, but you're so high up the pitch at times, involved in everything going forward, and then come back to function as a sort of a traditional left back at times as well. Is that something that you've had to move with, because you've been involved in very different Fulham teams over the last 4 years, from the Championship, from relegation, and now being known as the best left back in the Premier League, really, to be honest with you? How much has the position evolved for you in the last few years?
I mean, to be fair, since I've pretty much been a pro, it's kind of suited me how we play. Very dynamic, a lot of
I hope someone's watching this.
a lot of running, a lot of joining in the attack. I feel like it's now evolving even more to the point. There's a lot of like inverted left backs kind of playing as like a second centre midfielder, which I've only done a handful of times in my career. One recently for the US, did it against Jamaica. Not my preferred game. I'm more vertical, but kind of like straight lines.
But recently, aren't we going? Because it seems like we've gone one extra defender, and you're starting like you end up much higher on the left hand side. Have I imagined that?
No. It's the way we've been building up lately. It's we've kind of shifted the right back to be kind of like a right. Like make a three at the back, and then I kind of push on. Our winger can come in then and be in the pocket. So it's just another variation of how we can play.
And was that communicated to you because maybe Marco thought you were influencing games so much that was just like just to be more involved in all of those moves?
I guess so. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of managers find success. I missed that last turn. A lot of managers find success building in a three. Building a three with two midfielders, and seen last game like at times when you do it and it works really well, it's really hard to defend against. So we've been doing well with that, and it gives me more license to go forward. Which I enjoy. Still got to make sure I try and get back and help the team defend when we're under it, but still very enjoyable.
Saddest thing about this is
You're trying your hardest.
I was trying so hard,
and
I
he's
thought,
answering questions.
do you know what? I'm gonna really surprise him with how good I am at this.
I was like, King's coming out like goalkeeper.
Yeah,
trying to use the ball.
I've now got to get aggressive in my play. It's the only way to salvage this.
Anthony, from a modern fullback perspective to a very classic one, when you were at Wigan, you famously when you were at Wigan, you famously almost signed for AC Milan, in which you had a conversation with Paolo Maldini. A lot of Fulham fans won't be aware of that. Please tell us about that communication you had with the great.
It was actually quite an annoying conversation, to be honest, because it was really up in the air whether that move was going to happen.
Has anyone signed from Wigan to AC Milan before? Probably not.
No.
I can't imagine.
No. But I was at a concert with my brother. This is a day before I was supposed to fly out, but I didn't know that. And I just got a phone call off my dad saying, like, it's going through. Like, you go in. Give us, like, when you get home, like, Maldini wants to give you a call. And I was like, no, this is just not a chance. Rang him when I got in, and he was like, oh yeah, your dad said you were out at some concert or something. I was like, yeah, cheers, Dad, nice one for that. But
what concert were you at?
Schoolboy Q in Manchester.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Me and my older brother, we used to love going. Used to love going to concerts. He was obviously saying that, look, I see a lot of potential in you. I'm really looking forward to working with you and helping develop you as a player. Which, to hear that from him is,
I know,
it's an unreal feeling. You're not allowed to take that.
What?
You're king. It's a pin.
God,
so if you take
with your rules,
no, if you took it,
I know you would. Yeah, that's an illegal move.
Yeah.
Damn it! I don't think there's much of a way out of this.
You're starting to sweat a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It's it's a little bit embarrassing, really.
Do you feel like you're now what he saw in you? You're becoming that player and some, or does that cross your mind? Do you know what I mean? Like, but
I hear what you're saying. Every now and then, it definitely it reaffirms to me just be confident in myself, because if someone like that can see that potential in me, then obviously something's there.
Yeah.
So when you're going through times in your career where things aren't going so well, which I've said a lot of times, I've had that at this team myself. Just reminding yourself to keep the faith, keep believing in what you've achieved, what you are doing, and yeah, I think he played a big part in the confidence I've had in myself throughout my career.
What's meant more to you?
It was a castle, wasn't it? Yeah, that was brilliant.
And it feels like there's a lot of white on the board.
Yeah.
What was a better achievement for you, being the USA International Footballer of the Year this year or Fulham's Player of the Year last year?
Check.
I just want this over now. This is just embarrassing.
That's a really, really tough question.
Yeah, it's an unfair one as well, but you have to answer it.
You know what? Because it genuinely in individual awards like that, it's nice, but it's not why you play the game. I'm gonna say the Fulham Player of the Year meant more.
Come on, Fulham.
Mainly because it happened first.
Yeah.
And then also the US one, if I'm being really honest with myself, I didn't feel like I should have won it this year. Which,
why is that?
Just because, and it's going to sound like I'm kind of, bigging him up a little bit too much, but I said it to him as well. Christian Pulisic on our team, I said to him if he wasn't himself and a random player in our team had the year that he had, I think they'd have won the award. I think he's a victim of his own high standards and success in there.
Yeah.
So I said, in my eyes, it should have been you.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I think the Fulham one is, to me, means a little bit more.
What do you think the future of American football is like? I mean, because that's going to be really competitive come the next World Cup or whatever, aren't they? You must have designs to go really far.
I mean, yeah. Ideally, we want to go and win it. Winning, I think in general, the World Cup, it's going to be probably the biggest sporting event potentially ever.
Yeah.
As an event.
It is, isn't it? Globally, it actually will be.
That's what I mean. So to be on that stage representing our country, the team we have, and you never know, it's obviously next year, but lads who are kind of going under the radar with the team at the minute could fly out of nowhere and surprise people. You never know. That goes for any country, but with us specifically.
Are you aware that, it will probably end up making you kind of like a proper superstar out there? There's that chance that,
Yeah, it's a good question, actually.
Yeah, there's got to be, especially, it's they're hosting, right? That's me looking. It's like a prop. I mean, you could end up, especially if you guys push along in the competition, because are you aware of that? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I do get that. I mean, it's a tricky one. I try not to think of it too soon because it's in the background. It's really exciting. But football, you're really focused on what's in front of you. So just the games coming up now is pretty much all that's in my control. I don't know what's going to be happening then. I could be injured. I could be out of favour. Anything. Even with the last World Cup, until I was literally in Qatar and made it through the friendly and was stood on the pitch playing against Wales, I didn't think to myself, I can be too excited about this World Cup. I'm quite reserved and that sort of thing. So when people say you must be buzzing about the World Cup next year, in the background I am. It's going to be unreal, but I'm also very anything could happen. So I'll be excited about it when it's when I'm stood on the pitch, basically. I've
just realised you might have not been. Were you born even by the '94 American World Cup?
No, '97.
That's just made me feel physically sick. What, the Diana Ross penalty and the Baggio? You weren't alive.
I weren't alive. No.
Actually, I just need a moment of silence just while I process that. You're saying about playing and enjoying stuff. It feels like football's really fun to you at the moment, and the whole Fulham team. Are you every time a game kicks off thinking, "Oh, we're going to affect this"? There's some sort of magic or energy in this Fulham team, isn't there? Whereas some sort of synergy where it seems free, for want of a better phrase. Would that be right in saying?
Sorry, is it my move, by the way?
I think so.
I think it is. I was kind of ignoring the game then.
Well, it's done. Game's done. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah,
I was hoping I'd just get a second move in a row, but because that would make a difference right now. Go on, that was a good question.
Like you said about, I've said this as well a lot when people have said to me, "Oh, you're having a good season. What do you think's different? What's changed?" And mainly, I put it to the fact that the whole team is just performing really well, and it makes it easier to play in. Everyone's kind of firing on the same wavelength. The lads who've come in are really really adapted to how the manager wants to play quickly, which I think people can see. So that makes it a lot easier. And
also, Willian and Polini have gone, and the team's improved. Really, moved on.
I'd say so. Yeah, checkmate.
Yeah.
Hey!
I'm supposed to not thank you, man. Oh, glad that wasn't on camera or anything. That was absolute. I just was like, kill me now. Like the moment. Yeah.
I've actually seen Fulham do that to teams this year.
yeah.
This freedom.
This was indicative of some of our games.
Not chess related. When I show you this, what's the first thing that comes into your face? Into your head? This, for people that are just listening on podcasts, I don't even know what this is. It's a
What do they call
pillow
those?
cushion of Emil Smith Rowe. Have you ever seen that before?
Not Ems's one. His teeth are just right in your grid.
face. There's some good teeth.
Well,
Who else have we got? You got my one.
Yeah.
That one,
So
at least that
friend.
one.
What is this?
No, at least that one's better than the one I had last year, though.
What
the
do you
one
mean?
the one I had last year, it like warps. So imagine this is the shape of it. It was wider, and your face like
they tried to fill the
yeah,
actual
it was
shape.
full. So at least this, my head looks like me.
Yeah.
The one from last year was an abomination.
Did the club run that through you? They don't run that past you, like.
No, they just put them in the shop. So when I first seen one, I was like, "What is that?"
That's not me.
Liberty.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've nicked this from the finance department, who have this in the window up the top.
I don't think you nicked it. I think they put it there just so someone would take it. No?
It looks like a horror film in front. They said the only reason I can have it is if you sign it, so we got to get you to sign this for them. Ivan, have I missed any important questions?
Well, I mean, literally, I was so focused on the game that I mean, and that's what the most embarrassing thing is. I could only half listen.
Do you play often? Or
Chess.
Yeah.
I played a few times, so I thought I was quite good. I played my sister quite a bit, and I like to think that I can get quite attacking. And yeah, I play board games a lot. Do you play board games?
All the games I play are on my phone now, like chess, Sudoku, things like that.
Yeah, give my go. That's fascinating. Can I ask? Obviously, I know we joked about it at the beginning about the fact that anyone comes into interview, they're always going to hit up the piano, and all those sort of things. And we found chess great. We've got that. That's ours.
Yeah.
That is ours. Does that mean, like, was it, again, if you've covered this, apologies, was it always football? Because clearly you've got your loves, your passions.
That's a good question.
And also when it comes to, your career does come to an end, obviously you're still young, still many years, but have you thought about where else you could go, like what you want to do? Because clearly, you've got loves and passions outside of the sport.
No, from a kid, it was always football.
Yeah.
Literally, ever since I can remember, I've been kicking a ball. I've took a ball with me. I always, as a kid, like whenever anyone said, "What do you want to be?" I'd say I want to be the best footballer in the world. Which hasn't quite gone to plan yet. But
mate, it's not far.
I mean,
I definitely would. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that 10 years ago when I was coming through the academy. I thought I'm nowhere near ever going to play a Premier League game. Never mind.
Really?
Like with Fulham now, I'm 100 deep. More.
Mad.
That's what I mean. It's an up and down game. But in terms of, like you said, other interests and where it could go, don't know. I feel like I've still got a lot of time in football. I was literally, like me and Yoa were in the sauna yesterday saying to each other, what would you want to do after football? And I was just like, I still don't even know. Like, obviously, I hope I've had a good enough career that I can literally just do whatever I want. But yeah, we'll see. I'll have to see what the future holds on that one.
It feels like Fulham have travelled, like, because in the 4 years you've been at Fulham, like I mentioned at the start, we've been relegated, all that kind of thing. So it feels like almost you've seen probably more than anyone else in the squad, the range of Fulham's existence really in the last 25 years. You've seen, because a lot of players coming into the club now haven't experienced where we were at some time. Do you feel that sort of emotional, like that you travelled that emotional journey with Fulham fans a little bit? Do you know what I mean? To appreciate where we're at.
No, you appreciate it massively. It's part of me now, and especially when you look back at like the team we had when we went down, like it's mental.
Crazy,
like where a lot of like the players have gone on, and obviously Yoa's back now, but the lads who were there, like Kenny. I think from when I signed, it's only me, Kenny, Reedy, and TC. That's it.
Yeah.
And Yoa's come back. So in terms of, like you said, appreciating the journey, like the journey's everything to me. It's not just even at Fulham, but my whole career, appreciating the journey of where you've gotten to and enjoying every minute of it.
And it feels as like your game as well with Fulham over the last few years has really evolved, and you've got better and better and stronger, because you're always brilliant from the start. You had a really strong game. defensively, but it does seem, I mean, obviously there's a lot of noise around you at the moment, and you Google your name and there's like thousands of articles now talking about you, best in the Premier League, and all this sort of stuff. Do you put that down just to kind of age, just maturing with the game, or do you put it down to the manager? What do you put that kind of growth down to? You
touched on the two main factors there for me, which is like you said, age and maturity. Just naturally coming with experience, the more games you play, you realise like, oh, I can do this in the game, I can do this. You just end up feeling comfier and comfier each game. It gets easier. That's something I said to Josh King, because obviously we see him in training every day, and he's unbelievable in training. And then the couple of games he'd had in pre-season, he kind of struggled with like the physicality and playing with men who he didn't know his opponents every day, whereas in training he knows our tendencies, so he can take advantage of that. I said to him after his Premier League debut, I was like, mate, it only will get easier for you from here. Like each game, it's just going to get easier. Which obviously, if he keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to be amazing for him. But in terms of myself, that the manager coming in, which I've said before, he obviously sold me from Everton, so I didn't really think it was going to go too well when he came. But he came, obviously had a lot of faith in me, and I just think he understood me as a player and a person, really helped me develop. And he's the first to come and tell me when he thinks I've been amazing in a game. He's the first to shout at me at any mistake that. Some mistakes that you can accept, like you've tried a pass and it was the right idea. Some things where he says to me categorically in the game, you cannot do this. If I do that, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna come for me now. I know it. But having someone like that who's the first to shower you with praise and the first to tell you, look, you need to do this better. You need to do this better. And when you're in a bad moment, he said to me a couple of times, look, like take it back to your basics and what you do well, get your rhythm back. So I feel like I owe a lot to the gaffer as well.
Credit to you guys, man, because I remember the second leg of the semi-final against Liverpool. Remember you seeming like devastated, because it was that feeling of like, oh, was that our chance? Like Liverpool was slightly second string. There's that moment, but it really feels this year like this team is embedded into Fulham everywhere. Is that feeling of like, it's not going to be every year. This team is going to be fighting, competing every week. We're going expecting that kind of thing. So it's sort of credit to all of you that you're creating that environment. Do you know what I mean? It must feel like, because I think this is probably the best Fulham team I've ever seen, probably. Like, do you feel like you can, because the highest finish was 7th, Fulham have never won a cup or anything like that. It must be a feeling that this group of players can do something like that.
Yeah, I've said it to the boys in general, like if something special is going to happen, it feels like it's this year, whether that's, winning a trophy, like going and winning the FA Cup, or qualifying for Europe again, finishing higher in the table than we have done, beating our record points. Yeah, it's a weird one just because of how competitive the league this year is in general. We could probably break our record points and not get Europe, or we could fall below it and get Europe. It's just that condensed in the middle of the park, so you don't know. But in terms of like where we've come as a team, and the fact that like we'll have games where we drop points and we feel disappointed, as opposed to a couple of years ago it would have felt like a point gained. It just shows our own standards, and it's not been a perfect season. We've had games where we should have seen it out, we should have won, we should have drew, things like that we haven't done, and we've had them moments. But the fact that we are where we are and we still think we've got more in ourselves, it shows like the direction the club feels to be heading in.
Totally.
And how do you like block out? How are you with like blocking out? Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of noise and quite rightly so, tons of praise about you at the moment, and you're constantly making teams of the week and stuff like that. How do you block out that noise, or how do you cope with that? Because that's obviously quite a thing for a player to be getting that much all at once from all sides. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm pretty good at just ignoring that sort of stuff anyway. Well, like years ago when I was younger and a bit more immature, I'd be like, if I had a bad game, I'd be going out to see like what people said about me, like looking on Twitter, searching my own name and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's a dangerous game, and it's both. It's parts of you have a good game and you're like, oh, are people saying this about me, blah blah blah. And just as you get older, anyway, I think you mature out of that. You realise, like, because I've been a big believer in whenever people say, oh, it's going so well for you, blah blah blah. I'm just like, only takes me to have two bad games in a row, and people will be back to saying, oh, I always said he was. Well, we need to get rid of him. His head's not in it. All that sort of stuff. It's a really fickle and reactionary game that we're playing in. So taking the positives and the negatives, you kind of just have to put them in the same bubble and just keep doing what you're doing and ploughing through it. And in terms of, like you said, if there's a lot of praise or whatever, one, just being a bit more mature to kind of drown that out, and also the fact that I've got 2 kids now, I literally don't have the time to sit there and think about that, because I'll go home, I'll obviously come in, have training, finish training, go home, and then I've got however many hours just sorting the kids out, entertaining them, getting them to bed, and by the time that's done, I'm shattered. I'm going to bed myself. So
funny you should say that, because that moment has happened. We've got to let you go, man. But just on behalf, because I know all Fulham fans watching this, listening, want to say thank you, man, for the good times, because you've been unbelievable. And whatever happens in the next year or two, what you give this club is wild, man, and we're very grateful, man. So thank you for everything. And checkmate.
Yes, balls, isn't it? I did say that.
Yeah, that was a hard watch for me, but it's not going to dampen my spirit watching me get thrashed at chest by Antonee Robinson, because we're still standing on the pitch right now, having beaten Liverpool 3-2.
Welcome back, Kenny Tete. I'll also say I thought it was fantastic in the last 15 minutes in a high-pressure situation. Muniz, who took his goal, it's one of the best goals I've seen at the Cottage, the flick, to let himself in. Sessegnon.
Mate, the boy's back. Sess is back. He's
we
back.
Just feel like
he looks solid. He looks stronger. He's still smashing them in. You still want him to be that guy in front of goal with the ball. He's the one you want there with him, and he's still smashing them in. He's back.
Anything's possible.
Should we hug it out?
I want to hug, but I'm also going to go for a pint. Hope you enjoyed Robinson. We'll see you next week. Love you, Fulham Football Club. Bye.